Good morning, everyone. And happy 4th of July. Well, my plans today is, of course, the traditional barbecue of hamburgers and hot dogs and french fries and who knows what else it's going to be cooked. And then I will be live streaming again tonight. We're going to have a fire going on out there in the ring and making s'mores. I am on a half hour early. Let's get this thing back here. This camera here. Try to get me more towards the middle. Yeah, about right there. That'll work. This is probably, well, it is the birthday of America, so that's the reason why I'm using this background. I hope it doesn't get too annoying with that sparkling candle there. Good morning, Jason's World. And today's coffee cup is my Mark Martin cup. There's his old number there. It wasn't originally the cup that I was going to use this morning, so I'll show you the cup that I was going to use this morning. Let's see here. So this is what I got yesterday that Drew was talking about. So there's my Drew cup, and there's what happened to it. The handle got broken off because they didn't bubble wrap it. So there's one side of it, and there's the other side of it. So yeah, that was broke in the box as soon as I picked it up from out there by my mailbox, and it started making a noise. I knew it was broke. So but I also had a feeling that it wasn't going to come in one piece. I don't know if it was a dream or what it was, but so I've already emailed them to let them know and sent them a picture of it, and they better replace it. And I got one more coming. I have his morning coffee cup coming, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to get rid of this. Let's see here. Get rid of this thing here. It is kind of annoying. We'll do a different one. There, we'll do that one right there. Because it seems like I gotta keep doing this to get around that sparkler right there. So yeah, I got the morning coffee one coming. It's in my town. I don't know if the mail is running today, being the 4th, and if not, I'll get it Monday. And so right now I'm on, for 4 days, I have to take this metoprolol, which is to slow my heart rate down, because Monday I have to go in for a CT scan on my arteries, and so he can find out why I have a loss of breath all the time when I go upstairs. Excuse me. Now it's getting to the point where even if I'm just kind of sitting here, I don't really have that good lung capacity like I should have. It might be from past years of smoking and doing stupid things. Um, so yeah, he has to check that. And this is the last. I mean, the main thing that he could do is do a cath into my arm or groin, and I'm not going to go that route. So I have to try and get my blood pressure low because they can really see it with the blood pressure low, and I'll go from there. But this stuff is making my hearing go kind of like I got a hearing infection, and to make me pee a lot. So, but I'm sure everything's okay because every time they come up do a test, they tell me they don't know what's wrong. You seem healthy, and so we'll get to the bottom of it. Other than that, there's not too much going on. I just don't like how this camera is on here. I gotta have my iPad crooked for some reason. It might be this application, I don't know. So I hope everybody else is doing good. I know it's early in the morning here in the United States. It's in the afternoon over there on the other side of the world. And yeah, wasn't going to do too much today on this live stream. I'm not going to play my guitar or sing or anything. And of course, this is my shirt that I'm wearing today. And didn't really expect too many people to show up, or anybody to show up today. And as usual, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, and but I always end up finding something. But I am upset that that cup came broke, and I hope they do replace it. So what's going on in your neck of the woods? I take these glasses off because this distance, everything's blurry. I do have another guitar that my wife bought me a long time ago, and these were the strings that's supposed to go on there. And when I got it, there was a wood piece on the inside that was not glued very well, and when you play it, you can hear it kind of vibrating in there, and it was kind of annoying. So I just put it back into the bag that it came with, which was pretty cheap, thin bag, and packed it away. Well, the head of the guitar, let's see if I get it, this part here, it broke right here. So I got some wood glue, and I'm going to glue that back on there. And it's a pretty nice guitar. It did sound pretty decent despite the little buzz of the wood inside there that wasn't glued very well. And hopefully I can get the bottle of glue or put it on something and get it in there and get it behind that wood in between the two pieces, and then clamp it shut and get that to where it's not going to buzz anymore. But I would like to start playing that one as well. It's a kind of a black and grayish white guitar, and of course it was cheap, just like the rest of my guitars are cheap guitars. And I'm not big on expensive guitars, so I'm going shopping in Amherst County today. Sorry, I can't stay. I need to finish getting ready. That's okay. You do what you have to do, and I'm sure people will pop in and out during my live stream, and I'm just happy you showed up. I can't do the things I wanted to do today. I have a bunch of tree limbs out there I've been showing in the past live streams and whatever that I need to start cutting up, and I was going to cut them up for today, but I can't overexert myself and get my heart rate up, so I can't do that right now until next weekend. You have a wonderful day, Surrey Spray. But the others that are in the room, hold on, I'm going to go get something real quick here and I'll be right back. Alright. So I went down and got that other guitar that I've had for a long time. I'm going to show you. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the musician that came out with this guitar, and I'm sure some of you probably have, but his name is, if I can remember how to say it, Esteban, I think is his name. Of course, my wife, she was watching those things they sell on TV, and she's seen this, and so she ordered it, and this is that guitar right here. So, and it did have a nice sound to it, and here's what I'm talking about, what broke. So as you can see, what I got, I glued back together. So it was made pretty cheaply, I'm sure, just like my Epiphone and probably my other one. It was made in China, because I don't know too many guitar brands that are made in the United States. And yeah, it was made in China. And so who knows what kind of wood this is. To me, the top feels like a cheap plywood, and I don't know, we probably paid $100 and some for it. And back in that day when I got this, I just wanted to go around and collect a bunch of $100 guitars, and I've been seeing people take the EJ 200 Epiphone and the Gibson SJ 200 and play them back to back, and they sound just alike. And of course, the Gibson is more expensive than the Epiphone. And it's just the name that you're buying. You can get a cheap guitar and it can sound just like a nice one, but I'm sure there's some out there really expensive that sound a lot better. So yeah, I gotta glue that head back on, and it kind of sucks that this one broke the way it did, or was even broke when I got it. Story of my life. You know, I get a broken coffee cup and I get a broken guitar, and but hopefully the next one's not broke. The coffee's getting cold fast. But I gotta cut my hair today. It's getting too long, and I've already shaved a little bit because it was really ragged. Being wearing that mask all the time, I just didn't care. You can't see me anyway, so. But I'm sure more people will pop in and out. If they don't, then I'll end this live stream early. It may only be about a half-hour live stream. But I will be on again tonight. It's probably somewhere between 7 and 9 o'clock at night, Central Time. You'll just have to check to see if I'm live. But we have planned on going outside and starting a campfire, and making s'mores, and matter of fact, I may have to go by the store and see if I can't find some long forks to put the marshmallows on, because all my forks are gone. I think I left them outside and they all rusted, so I threw them away. So I don't think I have anything to put the marshmallows on to melt them down. And I was going to look yesterday and I forgot. But I do hope everybody's well today, and everything's going for you. The funny thing is I go and I get a text to pick up this medicine, and a day or two later I get another text telling me that my medicine is ready to be picked up. And I'm like, okay. So I thought it was my cholesterol medicine. So I go and I pick it up, and the pharmacist, he heard my name and he was confused of why I was there picking up some medicine. Well, I wish I would have looked to see what it was when I was standing there, and they had filled what I picked up a day or two ago later, and that's why he was looking confused. My guess was after he had filled it, he didn't put it that it was completed. So either someone else filled it a second time, or he filled it a second time, forgetting that he filled it the first time. And I'm only supposed to do this for 4 days. And why they gave me so many pills is beyond me, because they had put about 13 pills in here, and I didn't need 13 pills because I'm supposed to take a whole pill in the morning and then a half a pill at night. And tomorrow, after taking my blood pressure in the morning, I'm supposed to uh, text my doctor and let him know what my pulse rate is. And if he doesn't like the number, he wants me to take a whole one at night. But the first time I did the first day, I took a whole one. I went to work. I probably got my heart rate up doing whatever I was doing. I was trying not to. And so that evening, I took a whole one again instead of a half one. So yesterday, I took a whole one in the morning and then finally a half of one. And then this morning I took a whole one, and then I'll take a half of one again this afternoon or this evening, and then do it all over again, and then text him, let him know what's going on. But I'm sure we'll come down to the bottom of what's going on, and everything will turn out fine. And so yeah. So everybody must be busy this morning. They know I'm on every Saturday morning. It was originally I was only going to go like once, or actually every other Saturday I was going to live stream, and so they wanted me to go on every Saturday. So everybody was showing up. I changed my time to 6 in the morning instead of 3:30 in the morning, because 3:30 got to be just too much for me, because I'd have to get up at 2 in the morning. And so finally I just changed it to 6 o'clock, and that seems like that's kind of bothered people. So I thought about maybe live streaming around, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon here, which would be about 5 in the morning in the Philippines. But I haven't come to that conclusion yet. Or I just may stop altogether. And because I thought about revamping my channel and really thinking about what I want to do, if I want to continue it, because it's not gone in the direction that I first intended. It just seems like I'm just throwing a bunch of random stuff in there to try to get the people to watch my channel, and I didn't want to do like that. I still got to make that video of chicken adobo, and I was going to actually do it a few days ago, but I got busy doing other stuff, and we had to take the chicken that I had thawed out and make something else before it went bad. And but I will get to it eventually. And even though it called for skin on the chicken, I bought skinless chicken instead, but I think it'll work out just the same. I think it's more about the ingredients going in there than it is the chicken itself. But I'll just sit here and I'll wait, see if anybody else shows up. And Oh, I may stop this live stream in the next 5 minutes because it just doesn't seem like too many people around here. I didn't go on YouTube much yesterday, and so I didn't watch too much. I kind of got bored of YouTube and just kind of stayed off a bit. There were channels I needed to get caught up on, but I just wasn't too interested in watching any videos or dealing with YouTube, period. Probably because of the problems in this country are weighing on my mind, and I don't know how they're going to get resolved. There's too many people whining and crying about everything, and nobody's actually coming up with a solution to nothing. So it's just a big blame game and finger pointing. So you just got to remember, when you got this pointing towards somebody, you got 3 more pointing back at you. But I'll probably end up working on this guitar today and getting that done. And yeah, if I ever sold that guitar, it's probably going to be worth, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks now, if I can even get that out of it. But on the inside of here, of this guitar, and you won't be able to see it, there's wood pieces that are going in different directions in here, and let me see if I can find the one. So there's one right here that didn't get glued down very well. Let's see, let me move this here. So there's one going right here, and about right there, there's a wood piece that didn't get glued, and it just kind of separated just a little bit from the top. So when you're playing and this top vibrates, you can hear that piece of wood vibrating in there. And I think if the head wouldn't have broke on it, I probably would have just went ahead and put some new strings on there and just played it the way it was, because it does sound pretty good. Okay. Well, Jason's World, I'm gonna warn you right now that in just a few minutes I'm probably just gonna close this down and just have about a half-hour live stream. But I will be back on again tonight, which would be, when it's about 7 o'clock here, it'll be 8 in the morning in the Philippines, and somewhere between 8 and 10 o'clock in the morning, which would be Sunday morning in the Philippines, but it'd be Saturday night here. I will be outside around the campfire. You'll probably hear a lot of fireworks going off because they've been shooting them off every day. And but today being the 4th of July, they'll be shooting them off even more. And so we'll have to hear that. Well, hello, Twin Zayed family. How are you? Well, thank you for the thumbs up. I was about ready to get off of here because I was only down to one person watching, and I was going to call this thing quits until tonight. So yeah, I will be on again tonight, and which will be somewhere between 7 and 9 o'clock p.m. my time, and So you'd have to figure out from where you're at. But I hope you're doing well, and I do have quite a few things I got to do today. But I'm not going to overexert myself because I'm on medication to slow my heart rate down so they can do these tests on me Monday, and which kind of sucks because of the weekend I wanted to go out there and try to get all that tree branches cut up and get my yard all cleaned up. So I am doing pretty good this morning. I didn't sleep too good overnight. I had a headache. I woke up with a headache. I don't know if it's from the medicine or my sinuses. It's just about every morning I have a sinus headache. So, but I think it's going to be another hot and humid day today, and I hope by starting a fire tonight, sitting around heat in the heat, I'll be okay. But we're going to sit out there tonight and make s'mores, and at least I hope we can make some s'mores. It's been a while since I had any of that. Well, welcome, James. I don't know where Soichi is, but they all know that I live stream on Saturdays, and a lot of them haven't been coming. Maybe they're just busy, because I'm actually doing this around their dinner time, so they're probably making dinner and or getting ready for dinner, so on and so forth. Sometimes they'll just kind of come in and go BG and do their thing. Well, there you are. I see how you are. You're just probably sitting back not saying anything. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. You all probably heard I was just going to get off of here because nobody was showing up. So even though it says only 3 people in the room, just like every other live stream, I don't really have too much to say. Sometimes I don't know why I do these live streams, to be honest with you, because I don't have too much to say. Well, thanks for just now giving me that message, Soichi. Uh, you know, I was just thinking about that, how I better get this video made up, because I have a feeling you were going to ask me. Well, good morning, Che. Oh, you're not late. Just like I was telling them, I was about ready to stop this live stream at 30 minutes because nobody was showing up. And Jason's World was the only one that stayed in here And sorority spray, she had things to do, which I understand. When people's got things to do, you got things to do. Let's see if I can do this. They were supposed to say Happy 4th of July up here. I don't know why it didn't come up. It's quite odd. Well, I have to get on my phone to do that because this app will not let you do that. There. You have to excuse me, Mom. I'm looking at these things on here. I'm trying to find something appropriate for today's theme, being 4th of July today. Birth of America. You would think there would be like a party hat or something on here. Yeah, I don't see anything. Oh well. I was actually going to use StreamYard today, but I decided to go with the one I've been using. I don't use the Live Now app much anymore because it messes with my volume. And even though you hear me fine on there, when I do a replay, the volume's all screwed up on it. So if you all didn't see it, you know, I watch a lot of Tokyo Drew, and he's actually got two channels. So he used to have a channel called Food Sessions, and he decided to change the name, and because he felt that there wasn't, well, I'm guessing he felt that there wasn't enough people subscribing to that channel, so he changed the name to Shut Up and Eat. And he stopped his old store for whatever reason he stopped it for, and he started going through Teespring. Well, Teespring, if you order a coffee cup or anything breakable off of them, they do not bubble wrap whatever it is they're mailing to you. So I had ordered a coffee cup off of him. I actually ordered two. So I got another one I probably won't get until Monday because I don't think the mail runs today. And so anyway, this is what happened when you don't bubble wrap. So the handle was busted off. I've already emailed them. So there's one side of it. This was supposed to be today's coffee cup, by the way. And then here's the other side of it. And so he decided to rename it to Shut Up and Eat instead of Food Sessions. And there's another YouTuber that I watch that lives in Thailand, an American that lives in Thailand, and he's finally doing merchandise because everybody kept asking him, hey, if you get merchandise, we'll buy some. So he finally caved and went through Teespring, and I was going to order one of his coffee cups, but the way Teespring is not bubble wrapping anything, because as soon as I did that, when I picked it up from outside, I knew it was broke. So I got a hold of Teespring, sent them a picture, and hopefully they will replace it. But I got another one coming. I hope it's not broke. They'll be replacing that one too. So I don't know if I'll be ordering that one off of No Time to Be Sad. But I hope everybody's signal's doing okay, because my numbers keep going up and down on viewership. And it's funny how in Thailand they have cell towers everywhere. And I'm sure there's probably places that they have a little bit of trouble getting a signal, but generally majority of Thailand probably has a really good signal because there's so many people on the internet in Thailand, so they have towers everywhere. So I'm surprised, and I don't know about the Philippines because nobody really talks about it in the Philippines about cell phone towers, but it just seems like you guys really have a lot of problems with signal in the Philippines. So that tells me there's not a lot of towers in your country. You know, I don't know why this app does. I have to take my tablet and it's got to be cockeyed so my camera can pick me up towards the middle. It actually irritates me sitting there sideways. But I check my blood pressure every morning and write that down on a piece of paper in case the doctor wants to see what's going on. And but I do have to text him tomorrow after taking my vitals and let him know what my pulse rate is. He doesn't care about what the other numbers are. He just wants to know what my heartbeat is. And it's been staying in like the middle 50s. I don't know how slow he wants to put it down, but then he'll decide whether or not to stop with the half pill and just continue with the whole pills. But it really hasn't. Yeah, my blood pressure is pretty good, and surprisingly throughout this whole thing. But What I don't understand is I did a stress test where they had me on a treadmill and they were really working me out. And my heart rate's really pounding. I'm sweating. In fact, they had to have two people stand behind me and keep their hands out like this because my hip is really bad on the left side, and they could see that. They said I kept drifting off to the left, and they were so afraid I was going to fall. And I said, well, I do have a bad hip. And but yeah, they said that everything looked fine, which is really surprises me. I mean, I'm breathing like crazy, and I feel like I'm about ready to pass out. But they had me drink my coffee that I asked for because I couldn't drink the coffee until after um, I did the test. So which was almost cold, and I'm not big on cold coffee. And so I sat down, breathing like crazy, sweating, and drinking my coffee and trying to get my heart rate to go back down after doing that test. And of course, they read it and says, "Oh yeah, everything's fine, and you're a pretty healthy guy." And I sure don't feel healthy, but um, so they had me do a pulmonary test after that, and that's when all this craziness happened in the world, and they were going to be shutting their doors down for a while the day after I did that test. Well, they said I did not have asthma, that I did good on that one, and that's when I was coughing really bad because of my allergies, and which I'm really surprised that I passed so well, and that with all that coughing that I was doing. And as you could tell, I'm not coughing now, even though I do it every now and again, but not like I was. It's all allergies. It always happens at the end of January and goes for 2 to 3 months of me doing that, and then it quiets down. So it'll happen again next January. I'll be coughing like crazy, and it's just part of who I am. So after doing that test, they had me, well, actually before that test, I had to go in and do a what do they call it? I forgot what it's called, but anyway, like an ultrasound. And so they did that. Doctor said everything looked well. When the nurse called, they said they saw something, but when the heart doctor looked at it, he said everything looked good to him, and he didn't see what they were seeing, so he don't know what they were looking at. And so then he had referred me to a neurologist, and they were, as you know, I'm on a CPAP machine for sleep apnea, and so he thought it has to do with that. I don't wear the mask as long as they want me to wear it more than 4 hours, at least 8 hours a night. And I think last night I wore it for probably 2 hours. Let me see here. Let's see what this says. An hour and 41 minutes is all I wore it for. And but it bothers me. So I got this thing on my face or on my head, and I'm trying to sleep, and I can't stand it. And I got all this air blowing in my nose, and then the moisture in there is bothering me. And so I just take this thing off, turn the machine off, and try to go back to sleep. And yeah, it's a mess. So I don't wear it as long and as much as they want me to do. So they're not getting a good reading from me on that. But I don't think that is my problem. And I think a big part of it is from my past of smoking and a little bit of the drugs that I did do in the past is what's caused this whole thing. It's just caught up to me, and probably not taken very good care of myself through the years like I should had. And so, and I'm sure drinking coffee and caffeine and all that's probably just as bad. But I just love coffee. So when people start saying coffee around me, I'm like, oh, I gotta have coffee. That's my trigger. And and so anyway, yeah, I've had a stress test and a pulmonary test and an ultrasound and so now I'm getting ready to do a CT scan, and hopefully this will be the deciding thing on what's going on. And because he told me, since nothing's really changed, because he told me to get off of this stuff, this pain medication, excuse me, called naproxen, which really helps out the body pain when I take that, but it's really still not good for you. And so on and so forth. He now wants to do the CT scan, but I have to slow my heart rate down, because he said they don't get a good reading if my heart's going too fast. So he has to slow it down. If he's wanting it down to 40 beats per minute, well, good luck on that, because I've only gotten it down to about 52. And this morning it was, I think, 55 or something like that. So the stuff that he gave me, he claimed was a low dose. I don't know how many. Yeah, it doesn't tell me how many milligrams it is. Oh yeah, it does. 50 milligrams. And I lost my train of thought. So anyway, so I got to take that to slow my heart rate down, so they can get a good reading when they put me in the machine for a CT scan, which this is going to be an outrageous price on my part, which is going to take me forever to pay for it after the insurance pays their part. And but he said the true test would be a catheterization, which I'm not going to go that route. So I'm trying to not exert myself, take this medication to slow my heart rate down, and get this test done right. Well, good morning, Arlen86. But I do have a headache this morning, probably from that medication, but there ain't too much you can do about it. I can take some pain medication, but I think it's all from that metoprolol that I'm taking, and which I have a day and a half left to go of it. So I hope everybody's having a great time, and you've ate your dinner, and if it's dinner time, and yeah, this was to celebrate the 4th of July here in the United States, or today's United States birthday. I did have a different one on there with a cake, but the sparkler was just too much in the middle, and so I changed it. And it was supposed to say, get my finger out of there, right up here, right there. It was supposed to say Happy 4th of July, and but some reason it didn't pop up. Well, good morning, Side. How are you? So I hope all this craziness that these idiots keep talking about doesn't happen. And if it does, they're all going to go to prison anyway. So um, this country is turned upside down. There's no respect here anymore. People just don't care because the older generation has gotten to the point where they don't teach the younger generation what they should be teaching them. And you got these kids graduating from college and then they go off and be professors. So you got basically kids teaching kids. It's just like when you're young and you get married and you have children. So you got children having children, and then the child doesn't know really jack squat like they should. And so then that kid grows up not really knowing what they should. So then it's just a vicious cycle over again. So you got a child teaching a child. It's like the blind leading the blind. And yeah, it's crazy. And then here we got this stupid pandemic going on, and then everybody wants to pull this crap all over because of one man. But I don't think it's ever going to stop in this country. Even if the president wasn't president anymore, I think this crap will still go on. And nobody's going to get along. So, Suichi, I will try to get that out to you by Monday. I'll either work on it today or tomorrow, because Monday I will be prepping to go to the hospital because I got to be there by, I think, before 1:30 in the afternoon, and get this test done. And but I will try to get it out to you as quick as possible. But earlier I was talking about an old guitar that my wife had bought me a long time ago. And I'll show you the guitar and I'll explain to why I'm holding it the way that I am. So this is the guitar that my wife bought me a long time ago. And this guitar was designed by a guitarist named Esteban. Everybody makes fun of the guy, but he is a really good guitar player. I wish I could play like him. And of course, this was another made in China guitar. It was probably done with cheap wood. To me, the front just kind of feels like it's cheap plywood. The whole thing's probably done in a cheap plywood. And but inside here, if I can get the camera to. So inside here, there's cross braces in here all over this guitar. So about right here, there's a cross brace. And when I first started playing this guitar, it would buzz. So when I put my hand in here to see what's going on, this cross brace was not glued in very well. So when this thing vibrates, it would vibrate that piece of wood, and that's where that buzzing sound was coming from. So I put the thing back in its bag, and I said, I'm not going to play this thing. And I had my other one that I normally play, so I played it. In fact, This was probably about I'd say less than $120 for this guitar. Um, my other guitar was 200 and came out to about $250, I think, for that guitar. And so I put this thing back in this cheap little bag that came with, and it got moved around, and I don't know if it fell or something fell on it. Well, then the headstock did this. It broke. So I'll turn it around so you can kind of see where I'm talking about. So as you can see, it broke. And I got some wood glue, and I'm going to glue that back together again, and I'm going to try to get this thing restrung and play again. Let's see where we're going. I'm not reading the... Well, good morning, Ate Betsai. Welcome. There was somebody else in here. Well, good morning, Marites. How are you? For some reason, there it is. I was going to say it wasn't showing up on my phone. So anyway, yeah, that was actually my second guitar, and it did sound pretty good. It had a warmer tone to it, just like my new one. And but I'm going to get that glued back up. I'm going to try and get that piece on the inside glued up. Restring this, because this is actually the strings that came with it, and I'm going to restring that up, excuse me, and start playing that one again too. But as you know, this is my newest one that my son got me, nice and shiny, and this one here isn't too shiny. It probably would if I shined it up. If I took my polished stuff and polished it up, it'd probably be nice and shiny as well. But I got to get the thing fixed. I know it's so hard to understand me. Don't feel bad. When I watch your guys' channels, I'm just like, I'll just sit there and just kind of watch you guys talk, and I don't know what you're saying, but that's okay. I might learn a word here and there, and and then I've been having problems with my lower back, and I had to put my heating pad on a couple of days ago. Right now I'm dealing with my hearing because of those pills are messing with my ears. I can say this about your guys' language. You're not like Thailand where you're not tonal. So I think like Thailand and Vietnam, a lot of those Asian countries over there, except for you guys, are a tonal language. So if you don't have that correct tone, you're saying something else. And Of course, I know if you say your word a different way than you guys say it, then I'm probably saying something different too. So, but I almost ended this live stream before 30 minutes because a lot of people weren't showing up, and I actually almost stopped it even after 15 minutes. But I was saying earlier before you all came in that um, I may be revamping my channel, really thinking of how I want to go about it because it's really not the way that I intended. But uh, yeah, I don't know if I'll be doing too many more live streams here for a while. So I will be live streaming again tonight around the campfire. So you'll just have to get on YouTube and see if I'm live. Which that will be somewhere between 7 and 9 p.m. my time, which will be between 8 and 10 a.m. in the Philippines. And so, yeah, so if you want to see me sitting around the campfire making s'mores, you'll probably hear fireworks going off, a lot of booms and a lot of cracks, and you never know, you might see one off in the distance exploding. And but yeah, I will be sitting in the backyard tonight, and I don't know if I'll be doing any commenting towards anybody saying anything. I might. Of course, I'll just have my phone pointed towards the fire and people sitting out there, and I may have my tablet with me to kind of watch what's going on. Don't know if I'll say too much because I'll be too busy dealing with the fire and roasting marshmallows and stuff like that. But today we're going to have a cookout, making hamburgers and hot dogs and French fries and whatever else we're going to have. And I'm sure there's probably a lot of ear bleeding going on right now. But I do need to get back into my Tagalog studies and getting serious and learning another language. I was doing that a little bit with Thai language, trying to learn Thai language. And of course, any time that I try to start learning something, I'll lose interest, just like anybody else, and give it up. And one day I may surprise you, and I'll sit here and do the whole entire thing in your language. Of course, I probably could have sat here and started gluing this thing up right in front of everybody, but I need to lay it down on a flat surface while I work on it. Crowded people around me are very annoying. Well, if it's annoying, then we will do something about it. Well, they don't have Doraemon on here. I probably could. I'd have to download it. Let's see what else they got on here. See, the bad thing about this app is they just don't really have a lot of good um, well, good morning, Dio Seng Kunyang. I could go back to this one here because it is the America's birthday, but I moved it because of the candle. No, it's the birthday of America. Today is the 4th of July, which that means that today is our Independence Day. Here, let's go back to this one. I'm just going to go back to this one because I know it annoys Suichi. And I'll sit here and drink my cold coffee. Well, about the end of it anyway. I'm just kind of upset that it didn't put something I had written up here. Here, let me get that back off there. I'm going to see if I can't find it again. Here we go. It was supposed to do this. There. That's what it was supposed to have on there. Well, it was on there for a short time anyway. Because they don't have anything on here that really screams other than what you see, these little pictures right there and then there. And even though I made that intro, I'm probably going to do it differently. This thing does have music on it, which is kind of crazy. I don't know why they put music on there, because the music can be annoying. Yeah, I may do this live stream for about 15 more minutes, and then I'm going to get off of here because I am kind of getting a little tired this morning. I've been up since 4 in the morning, and it's been a kind of a restless night. But you all keep talking amongst yourselves. Don't mind me. So what's for dinner tonight? Well, hello there, Bridge Tekken. Does that have to do with the game Tekken? Yeah, I've never played that game before, Tekken. I need to get this guitar out of my way. I'm going to put it back in the bag here, because I will work on it today sometime. Turn this around. I got to say, for even for a cheap guitar, I am happy they put a bag with it. Well, it's not my birthday, it's United States birthday, but thank you. My birthday won't be until January. Now, I'm not going to promise you, Sweetie, that my wife will be in there, but I'll try to get her in that video. You know, because of this situation going on in the world, I think this country should halt all sports until next year. Well, that's very nice of Suichi, and welcome. Well, you all talk amongst yourselves here for a moment because I will be right back. Well, Suichi, you must have been reading my mind because I was getting ready to ask. But don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I have been trying to get caught up on everybody's channels. Um, I have watched things. I have pushed like on them. I do not comment all the time. So don't think I haven't watched it because I probably have. Um, my channel, I'm going to start revamping it. I got to decide what direction I'm going to go in it. I got to start doing more and better thumbnails like for today's. I don't know if I'll keep the thumbnail that it chooses or change it up a little bit. My original concept was to get on my bike and ride different places around town and kind of show you this and that. But I got busy and things didn't happen that way. And then now with the current situation, it's a little harder to do what I wanted to do, because now we're in phase 4. I don't know how many phases there are, so we're in phase 4 here in my state, and but I don't think everything may not be open yet. So we only got about 5 more minutes left, and then I'm going to stop there at an hour and a half, because I'm really kind of getting a little tired. I may take a nap when I get done with this. Plus my voice is starting to go. But today I went with this coffee cup right here. This is my Mark Martin coffee cup. He was a race car driver. He's retired now. And then, of course, that was his number 6. I don't know who's driving number 6 car now, because I don't watch NASCAR anymore. I think that's probably the only NASCAR cup that I have. Well, good morning. Your nose is bleeding. Well, I'm so sorry that your nose is bleeding. I'm sure you're all probably listening with good intent to try to understand what I'm saying. It's probably better for you to listen than for you to say it. But you can imagine me when you guys are speaking your language, because I'm just like, huh? But it's really funny about how I read so much about how the Filipinos know English. Some can speak some can speak a lot of it. There are some that cannot speak some, and but yeah, and then all the dialects that you guys have in your country. And I'm trying to speak a little slower, because I know people say, "Oh, you talk so fast." Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm just going to say Tekken. I could say Bridge Tekken, but when Indians talk, there's a lot of times, even though you're speaking English, I cannot understand a word you're saying. Because your accent gets in there, and to me it sounds a little garbled with your accent, and I'm like, huh? Even though you're speaking English, and I may catch a word in there of what you're saying, but I'm like, huh? I watched a video the other day about this Australian. He had was talking about different, I don't want to call it dialects of this country, but the way actually accent. He was talking about different accents of Americans, because depending on what part of the country that you live in this country, everybody has a different accent. And like down there in the southern states, they talk like this. You know, they got a little bit of a different accent than, say, here. And I am from the state of Illinois in the country USA. Um, I do not know if you had heard of the city Chicago, Illinois, but I am about 2.5 hours south of Chicago, Illinois. I'm about in the middle, in the belly of our state. So I'm in what we call the Midwest, which is also the Corn Belt because we grow a lot of corn here, a lot of soybeans. My city is known as the soy capital of the world because we grow a lot of soybeans here. Um, we have the factory ADM, which stands for Archer Daniels Midland Company, and they take the soybeans and they turn it into all kinds of stuff, and plus other things that they do there. So but yeah, it all depends on what part of the country, just like probably in your country, it all depends on what part of the country you're in, um, is how you say a word, and so on and so forth. What do I do? Well, I am a facility maintenance mechanic. So what that means is I take care of the building because I work for a pharmaceutical company. So I take care of the building. I make sure that any holes that people put in the wall, that I repair the holes. I paint the walls. I change the ceiling tiles, light bulbs, any furniture that needs to be moved. Sometimes they give me what we call a PM, preventive maintenance, of picking up the trash outside because that's part of the facility work, keeping the place clean, and so on and so forth. So that's what I do. I do all kinds of stuff around there. I do not work on the machinery. We do have other mechanics or maintenance people that do that. So yeah, I just take care of the building. That's all I do. But there's some people that, like from the north, would say that I have a southern accent, and then people south of me would say that I have a northern accent, and so it all depends on where you're from in this country, of how you sound. And that goes with your country. You know, you have different dialects, and so like a lot of the people that I subscribe to, they speak, I mean, you all speak Tagalog, but you have a different dialogue. Like some are Bisayan, and so on and so forth. I mean, you all know. Like here in my state and town, I've actually lived where I am for majority of my life. I was born actually a little south from here. I lived there until I was 3, and then we moved here in where I'm at today. And when I was in my early 20s, I had moved up north to a town called Pekin, which is just right outside the big city Peoria, and I had lived there for 3 years, but I've lived in this town majority of my life. So I've been here for 40 some years. I've been in this town, and it's really gone downhill. A lot of people are moving out of this town because the jobs are moving out of this town. A lot of people are moving out of the state, and because the state is just, it just seems like our government of this state rather take care of one major city than the entire state. So our roads are going to crap, and the infrastructure is just really going downhill, and everybody's kind of getting sick of it, and so they're moving out. And I'd like to move out of this state too, but I can't afford to move and and move to another state. I want to go to Indiana, but I don't think my wife wants to go to Indiana. But originally I wanted to go to Missouri, but Missouri has too many tornadoes. Well, welcome. And if you have a content on your channel, I will check it out. Well, everybody, I went past my 1:30 mark, and so I'm pretty much talked out now. And I hope you all have a good evening. If I will be back on again tonight, which would be your morning if you're in the Philippines. Um, I don't know what it is where anybody else is. Um, I need to start figuring that out. And well, thank you very much, Kuya Earth. So anyway, yeah. So I will be back on again tonight. You'll be seeing us sitting around a campfire. It will be between the times of 7 and 9 p.m. Central USA time, which that will be between 8 and 11 in the morning in the Philippines. That's all I could tell you on the time zone. If you don't want to show up, don't show up. But it will be there to whoever wants to watch. I don't know if I'll comment too much. I will be busy taking care of the fire. I can speak very little of Tagalog. I know a word here and there, and I'm not studying as well as I should have, but because I really don't have the time to start learning something new, but I will get there. Some of your words are so long that I can't even pronounce them. I mean, we got words here that I'm like, huh? And so yeah, I mean, it's especially if it's like well, luckily I knew how to say metaprofilol, so which is what I'm taking right now for 4 days. But anyway, yeah, just catch me tonight or be in your morning, and we'll be sitting around the campfire making some s'mores. I won't be doing campfire songs, but you'll be hearing some firecrackers going off and a lot of booms, and you might even get to see something go up into the air and see colors. So just stand by for that. And I got a lot of stuff to do today. I'll probably take a nap after this because I am a little tired, because I do have a lot to do later on, but I'm going to try not to exert myself to keep my heart rate down. So you all have a good evening, and I hope you had a good dinner. And until next time, see ya. Goodbye, everybody.